Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm not sure if you can or not. Ah, you can. Good. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to HZ Sports. I know it says Nexus, but just ignore that. That's fine. We'll gloss over that fact. Little bit of an emergency this evening. Our resident commentator Joe, who would normally be hosting, couldn't unfortunately make it this evening, so he's left me to do it on my own. Uh, so, we're a bit late to start, so I won't take up too much time. No worries at all, HZ Sports. Glad to be filling in. Yeah, just ignore all the purple Nexus flying stuff. Just ignore that, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm not going to keep too much of your time. We've just come back from a mid-season break. The last race we did was France, where Jake took a victory. What a fight at the end of the last race that we had. As you can see, I've done some decorating behind me as well. I now have some Formula One shit. So yeah, we won't take up too much of your time in this early stage. I think everybody is going to be raring to go. I can't bring you any league tables at the moment. We will do a full update on Sunday when Joe will be back with us. So, fingers crossed this works. Wait for it. Here we go. You should be at... Yes, there you go. All is well with the world. Just in time to start qualifying as well. So, what to watch out for? Where are we? We're at Spa in Belgium, one of the longest circuits on the calendar. Used to be the longest circuit on the calendar before Jeddah was introduced, of course. Jeddah, of course, taking the title for the fastest track on the circuit as well. We've got pretty much a full grid today as well. So it should be quite an interesting race. Certainly a fuller grid than we've had in recent races. We've got all the usuals: Kyle, Jobbo, Tash, Nick Nafe, Jake, Short Tiger, JM, Ragbag, Scott, Danny, Miles, Hamlin, Big Al has returned as well, stepping in as a Div 1 driver for today. And Reaper, of course, as well, rounding up the grid. So, qualifying starts. Here we go. Hope you're all doing okay, by the way, chat. Hi, level 18. Hello, welcome to HZ Sports. Not the Nexus, don't get confused. Right then. Who's going to go out first? It's a fierce track, this. 19 turns, the last chicane, usually catching people out. Turns 12 and 13 as well. The quick switchback chicane is always a good one. And of course, the Kemmel Straight, perfect prime overtaking opportunity as well. So, who have we got on the grid today? I'm going to need to remember how to do this. I've had a holiday as well and haven't touched this game for about 2 weeks. Dry race. Let's hope so, Danny. Let's hope so. Has anyone come out yet? Not yet. No, let's get some spectator stuff up for y'all. Let's see what ties everyone's coming out on. Okay. We've got the House of JM coming out. It's going to be quite difficult doing this on my own. I usually have Sean or Joe. I've never usually do it on my own. It's a bit weird for me, but bear with me. I'm not supporting Aston Martin, by the way. No favoritism. I wear a different shirt every week. Everybody knows this by now. Right. Outlaps galore. JM's out on some mediums, as well as Jobo, Hamlin, and Ragbags. That seems to be a running theme now. Everyone going out on... Oh, Danny said it is a dry way, so that's a fact then. Everyone seems to be going out the mediums first just to get, like, acclimatized to the track. Kyle has done the same thing. Big Al, however, straight out on the softs as well as Nick. So we'll see. Who should we ride on board with then? We'll go for Jake first. JM first. If I can remember my keys, we'll ride on board with him, shall we, for when he starts his lap, and we can run through the lap with him. Looks like most people are out now. We've still got a handful of them in the garage. Yeah, said advertise away. You're saving my ass tonight. No, it's fine. Not a problem. Happy to help. Happy to help. And of course, we effectively our sister channel, HZ Sports. But if you don't know me, my name's Chris. I'm from the Nexus Collective, which is another channel on Twitch that me and my fiance Sean stream on. If you fancy some silliness and downright stupidity, come and give us a check. Come and check us out. But back to the racing. JM is about to... Where is he? He's coming around... I think this is turn 15, 16, 17 and up to turn 18. Giving himself a little bit of space to start the lap, and we'll go through the lap with him. Here we go then. Final chicane usually catches people out. You can't cut it. Those curbs are fierce. All right then. Here we go. In the Haas, crosses the line and starts the time. Kicking it out wide into turn 1. Lovely, looking quite planted. Of course, this is the medium tyre, so it's probably not going to be the full performance that we see out of JM today. Running up into... Everybody knows the name of this one. La Source, up Eau Rouge, Rodillion, and then down the Kemmel Straight. DRS down the back straight here as well. And then it's a harsh braking point. Just so you get to about the 50-metre board mark, if you're ballsy. Keeps it nice and tucked in. You need to get yourself right out wide for this corner. This is turn 7, heading down to turn 8, which is a big 180. Keeping it nice and planted. Everything looking quite good. We got to watch the track limits around here as well. Of course, 2023 saw the introduction of the white line is the limit. Doesn't matter where you are. A little bit squirrely on the way through turns 12 and 13. Through turn 11. Into 12 and 13 now, the switchback. Round 14 and into 15. Looking very good. Taking as much curb on the exit as he can. All right then, powers it down through turn 16 and 17. Will he lift? Here he comes. Oh, it doesn't look like it. No lift, even on the medium tyres. And Al sets the fastest lap so far, a 1:43.3. Very good. So the baseline has been set then. Ragbags has done a lap as well, 1:43.9. JM coming to cross the line as well. And it's a 1:44.7 on the mediums. Let's see what else we've got going on down here. We've got Short Tiger on a lap as well on the soft tyres, just coming through turn 16 and 17 now. Does he lift? Not on the soft tyres, surely. Nope, not an iota. Down into the heavy braking zone of turn 18, through the chicane. Keeping it nice and tight, crossing the line now. What is it? DRS wide open. Jake setting the fastest lap there, but 1:47.887. Short Tiger 1:45.1. Not bad, not bad. Who else have we got out on a lap then? Miles is now on a lap as well, and he's looking quite good. Through turns 14 and 15 now. We'll come back to him when he crosses the line. Hamlin, one of our Aston Martin drivers, doing quite well. Out on the mediums. And Danny's still not come out of the garages yet. Zedak has been in chat. My nanny's in a care home and she's taken a turn, so we've all rushed there. She'll be fine, I reckon. Not like she hasn't done this before. Care home staff just flat. Of course, of course. Naturally, they're going to. Well, everybody hopes that she's okay, Joe. And we can't wait to see you back on Sunday. Should we tilt my camera down a little bit so you can see my shirt? There you go. Tash as well. I just saw another Tash run past me. I think Big Alex the imposter. Wrong game, Tash. Wrong game. All right, then Hamlin crosses the line. 1:44.5 on the mediums. Not bad, not bad. Ragbag's coming into the pits after setting his 1:43.9. Obviously going to change over to the softs now, I would have said. Hamlin just taking a couple of laps to get used to the track by the looks of things as well. Who have we got on lap then? Oh, there's a spin for Jobo. He's lost his front wing. Just out of turn 9 and 10 by the looks. Between turns 9 and 10 or just before 6 and 7, I think that happened. No, it wasn't. It was earlier in the lap by the looks of things. Well, in any case, he's lost his front wing. He's going to have to pit. That'll cost him a few minutes getting a new one of those put on. Who we got? Kyle's here on an outlap in the McLaren. The McLaren's looking very good this year in the constructors. Unfortunately, I can't bring you the tables. I haven't got them. But we'll do a full points update on Sunday at the next race, which I don't know what is because the table's all mixed up. We don't do the normal Formula 1 calendar. We do a slightly different one, mix up the races a little bit. It could be Hungary next, if we haven't done Hungary already, or Zandvoort. Not sure. Oh! Is this smart? Reaper's now on an outlap. This is the one I've been waiting to see. Here we go. Kyle's now on an outlap as well. Tash is in the garage. We've got Miles pulling over to let the Aston Martin through of Hamlin, who is still out on those medium tyres. Expecting to see him changing onto the soft soon. Here we go then. Al out of the garage. He's racing for AlphaTauri. It's one of our reserve Div 1 drivers today, as one of our resident drivers couldn't make it, unfortunately. Excuse me a moment, just have a zesty beverage. So, outlap for Big Al. We'll come back to him when he started a lap. Scott has gone into a 143.3. Not bad, not bad. We've got Rags on an outlap as well. He's just come out of the pit, so we'll see what all these guys are doing. Everybody appears to be in the garage. It's very quiet out on the track right now. Kyle and Reaper still yet to set a lap time. Looks like track limits might be hindering them just a little bit. Not sure whereabouts, though. We'll keep an eye on that for you. I've only got 2 eyes, but I'll try my best. Like I said, there's usually someone else here. So, who have we got? We had Rags is on an outlap. Yes? Okay. We'll ride on board with Big Al for a bit. So he'll be crossing the line soon. He's going to be the next driver to cross the line to start a lap. So we'll ride on board with him for a moment. Good evening if you've just joined us. Welcome to HZ Sports. Say hello in chat. Drop us a follow if you're new. Hope you're doing okay this evening. We're just qualifying around Spa for our main event this evening. We do have driver spaces open for, I think, some Div 2 drivers. Hanwan sending loving regards to ZRX Nan in chat as well. Our resident commentator who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight this evening. All right then, so Al starts a lap. Round into La Source. Watching the Mercedes just coming out of the pits on the right-hand side there and then tucking it in. You need to get close to this wall so you can get a nice, good run up Eau Rouge, which is just a fierce corner. A few years ago, the race that never was, with George Russell finishing in third or second that year, Norris had a big crash in qualifying that year. Hits the 50-meter board down through the gears, down to fifth, tucking it in nicely and hitting those apexes beautifully. Guilty. I've not had to race night. Internet has been absurdly chucked. It disconnected me 4 or 5 times already, and my speeds are sitting at single digits. Ouch! So don't want to risk racing, ruining everyone's. Oh, bless your heart. Well, hopefully we can get you back in on Sunday. Tell your ISP to sort their shit out. All right then, through turn 10 and 11 then. Oh, that looked wide to me. That's an invalid lap. Track limits hindering Big Al there. So who else have we got on a lap then? Ragbag's on a lap now. Looks like he's coming down to turns 10 and 11 as well. Will he get picked up by track limits? No, keeps it in. Doesn't take it wide at all. No problem. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. Oh, Al just letting people pass. That's fine. Okay, then. Rags now. Into 13, 14 and 15. Powering it up through the flat-out corners of 16 and 17. The AlphaTauri pulling over on the right-hand side. The Chris the Mr. Dunn tradition has not been upheld. Unfortunately, it was such a rush to get everything started that we haven't been able to do the full HZ Sports experience. Doing my best, damn it. Right then, Rag's about to cross the line. Can he improve from his medium tyre? It's a 1:43.1. Kyle setting the fastest lap of the session from Jake, a 1:42.5. Is Jake on a lap? Jake's on his out lap, so we'll see if he can improve. We'll ride on board with him on his lap. Big Al then, starting a new lap. Round La Source and up to Eau Rouge once again. Can he make it stick through turns 10 and 11 this time? I told you, those track limits. You've got to be careful. Sometimes it is worth just giving a little bit of lift into turn 10. Or the eagerness to get round there as quickly as you can. Mind you, the soft tyres should be able to hold up through there. It's not as tight. I mean, it's a lot tighter than turns 16 and 17, but given a fresh set of softs. Whether Big Al went into the pits to change, I'm not entirely sure. If he's gone on a new lap, that would suggest that he didn't. So here we go then. Through turns 8 and 9. Keeping it out to the right-hand side, picking up the curves lovely. A little bit of lift, and then powers it down the hill. Here we go then. This is where Big Al got caught out last time. Right wide, taking it in. Oh, much better line through turn 10 this time. Turn 11, easy. Braking just past the 50-meter board. picking up the accelerator. Could have been a little bit wide there through turns 12 and 13. Down to turn 14 now. Kissing the apex. Nice. Little bit of the power and then left off. You don't need to lift, really. Oh, he's gone wide. He's gone wide and he's touched the barrier, but hasn't invalidated the lap, so he hasn't gained an advantage. He will pay for that across the line, though. JM behind him now. In the Haas. Just coming up to turns 12 and 13 now, I believe. 14 coming up. Seems to be that it's catching a few people out this sector here, this sector 2. So let's see. This little wall kinks out there on the left-hand side. Has Al improved? No, he came into... No, he's disqualified. Out of the session. He must have crashed out. Oh, the Haas letting off there. Is this a build-up lap, do we think? Is he going to go for another run? Looks as though a lot of drivers might be doing that pre-lap warm-up. No, he's coming to the pits. He's coming to the pits. Hamlin on a lap then. Coming through 16 and 17 now. Plenty of space in front. Right down through the gears, into third, into second. Just kissing the apex, getting the car straight, and powers it down. DRS open. Can he improve from 8th place? No, unfortunately not. Stays 8th. That could have been an outlap though, so let's stick with him, see what happens. Miles, 6/10 down on his previous lap. Short Tiger in the garage. And is this qualifying over? Unfortunately, I don't have the session timer, which would be super handy, wouldn't it? Kyler's on an outlap, so that would suggest that it's coming in. He's going to start a lap, so I don't think we're quite out of time just yet. Checkered flag hasn't fallen. The green flag is still going. Apart from the yellow flag in sector 3. All right then, Kyle crossing the line, starting a lap. Jake appearing to be struggling a little bit after the break. Obviously, our superstar driver, the first half of the season, winning a majority of the races, and obviously that fierce battle between himself and Super Ginge in the last race in France. What an epic battle that was in the last lap. Nobody could have called that. And then everybody running out of fuel at the end. Not the results that we were expecting. So then, Jake on an outlap. Nick on an outlap. Rags coming out the pits on an outlap as well. JM on an outlap. Scott on an outlap. This was suggests to me that the session is coming to a close soon. Hamlin on a lap. Looks like he's got a nice clear track in front of him. So let's see if he can improve from that 144.2. There's 138 coming into the final corner. I don't think... Yeah, he's coming to the pits. Can't improve there. So we've got Short Tiger on an outlap as well. Warming up those soft tyres through turn 8 and into turn 9. Let's see if anyone can improve then. The Jobo 6/10 down on his previous lap. Let's see if he can improve as well. Danny now finally coming out to the track. Hasn't actually set a classified lap time yet. We'll see what happens there. Can Jake unseat the current provisional pole of Kyle with a 142.546? 0.3 of a second separating the top two, with 4 1,000ths of a second separating second and third. It's quite close. In the top 3, everybody on that lap. Reaper in the pits. Kyle is confident. Doesn't look like he's going to start again. 5 seconds down. Okay, we're going to start a new lap with Kyle then. Let's see if he can improve. Jake just behind him, coming into the last 2 corners now. Seeing if he can improve as well. Here we go then. Taking a much wider line through the last corner there. A little bit squirrely on the exit. As we know, Jake, the sweatbox, needing guttering. How he plays this game. All right then. Through La Source. Powering it down to turn 2, 3 and 4. Coming at you. Here we go then. Obviously won't lift through Eau Rouge and Radion. And then down the Kemmel Straight. Nick. Looking quite good. A couple of 1,000ths down. A couple of hundredths down, I should say. Rags then coming through Eau Rouge now as well. JM going through turns 8. Looks like he's invalidated this lap, unfortunately. We'll ride on board with Jake. See if he can uproot. All right then. Through turn 9, down to turn 10. We've seen a lot of people take the track limits here. Let's see if he can make it through. 3 minutes left of the session, so if you're going to get out on a lap, it needs to be now. Quite a long track spar, so getting round on your out lap can sometimes cost you. All right then. Fastest Sector 1 from Jake. It's a purple Sector 1. Turns 16 and 17 now. Can he do it? Take a nice wide line. No lift. 8th gear. 202 miles an hour. Top speed. We know that Williams is quick through the speed trap. Equal performance, of course, the cars. We can dream, though. All right, then. Can he do it? Jake puts it on provisional pole of a 1:42.515. 3/100ths of a second faster than Kyle. Looks like Kyle has finished as well. 1:42.546. Black Reaper rounding it up in 3rd. I'm not sure if anyone's on a lap now. Jogo is on a lap. 7/10 down. Oh, he's into a wall. That looked deliberate to me. Danny on a lap then. Where can he put it? Danny up to 6th in the nick of time right at the end. And that completes your qualifying then. Fantastic. So, Jake starting on pole then. With Kyle in 2nd and Reaper in 3rd. I am going to print screen this because in case something happens. You know it's going to happen. Bear with me for a moment. There we go. And I'm going to pop that into... Bear with me for a moment. I've got to run this all on my own at the moment. You know how it is. I'll pop it in this private thing on my Discord for now. All right, then. So, Jake on the podium then with Kyle in 2nd, Black Reaper in 3rd, Ragbags in 4th, followed by Nick, Danny, Original Scott, Big Al, the return. JM, Short Tiger rounding up the top 10. Hamlin in 11th. Miles in 12th, Jogo in 13th, and Tash rounding up your full grid in 14th. So then, prediction in your twat, in your twat. Whoa! Excuse me. Predictions in chat. Then, what do we think is going to happen? We know that Jake is quick. We know that he's good off the start. I think we'll ride on board with Scott for the race start. So, should be a good race, this. Everyone's going to be a little bit rusty after the mid-season break. Everybody's had a week off. No one's had any practice by the sounds of things. Everyone was frantically getting on Formula 1 and updating the game in the Discord this afternoon. So we'll see what happens. Should be a good one. Thank you for joining us and coming along for the ride. I am 12th if something happens. Yes, Tash, don't worry. I've print screened it and I've put it in my Discord. So I've got a copy of it just in case anything happens. We won't let it happen again. So we're just waiting for the lobby to start. Here we go then. 5 lights on. Green light, foot down, and away they go. Looks like Jake getting a good start there. Pushing Kyle wide into turn 1. Lovely. Starting on the medium tyre. Kyle starting on the soft with Reaper starting on the medium as well to round up your top 3. So Kyle is definitely going to have the performance advantage. Can Jake hold him off while those soft tyres go off? So let's ride on board with Scott. Oh, Kyle has taken the lead at the front. Those soft tyres just too much down the Kemmel Straight, down into the braking point. Number 5 and 6. And Ragbags has had Black Reaper to take 3rd as well. Everybody moving up and down. The beginning of this race, we'll get some position change stuff up. We get some telemetry on. Get the full track lap as well. There we go. Right then. So Jake losing a place on the opening lap. There's a problem with Reaper having lost 9 places. Not sure what's happened there. It looks like he's lost some of his front wing and end plate. Oh, there's an accident. Who was involved there? Scott. And we've got a safety car on the opening lap here at Spa after the beginning of the mid-season break, and we're starting with a safety car. Not sure what happened at the back there, but it looks like Scott and JM might have got caught up in the melee. Black Reaper losing 7 places at the start as well. So, is this good news for Kyle? With the safety car now coming out, can make that soft tyre stint last just a little bit longer. But remember, he will have to change to the mediums or the hards at some point. Anybody coming into the pits? Yes, Reaper's coming into the pits. Looks like to get that front wing changed. Let's see what his pit stop's like. Well, the safety car picks everybody up just after La Source, out of the pit exit, and up through Eau Rouge. New front wing for Reaper then. And a new set of soft tyres as well. JM's in the pit. New front wing for him as well. And medium tyres going on. Jobo in the pit as well. New front wing. And a set of soft tyres as well. So, how many laps behind the safety car then? We'll have to wait for the others to catch up. The Aston Martin safety car being used here at Spa, of course. And during this mid-race, well, I say mid-race lull, it's only lap 2. During this lull, how are we doing, chat? Say hello. Where are you watching us from? I know there's a few regulars watching. I know you're very used to seeing Joe. Apologies he's not here. It's Nexus takeover today. So then, while we wait for the rest of the field to pick back up, let's take you through the order, as it's all changed up at the beginning of the race. So Kyle took the lead from Jake just before the safety car was called. It looks like there was an accident between a few of the drivers. Turns 10 and 11. Jake down in second, Dragbags in third, rounding up your provisional podium. Danny, Nick, and Short Tiger, 4th, 5th, and 6th, respectively. Miles, Hamlin, and Big Al, along with Tash, rounding up your top 10. Big Al, of course, returning to us as a reserve driver today, filling in for one of the AlphaTauri drivers in Division 1. We've got Tash, who's made up 4 places due to that accident at the start as well, rounding up your top 10, of course. Reaper losing 8 places at the start. Great qualifying, not a brilliant race start. So hopefully he can pick himself up through the field. We know Reaper's good. We know he's got some talent. Let's see what he can do from there. JM out of position as well, down in 12th, along with Scott, Division 1 driver. Currently, every Division 2 driver, apart from Jobo, receiving bonus points. So let's see how that goes through the race today as well. And then Jobo, of course, rounding up the field in 14th. Is the safety car lights still on? They are. So it looks like we might have another lap of the safety car then. Only 22 laps here, of course. We do medium race distance here in Spa. I'm sure all the drivers are itching to get going. A lot of them taking a very weird line through the last corner there, even behind the safety car. So, not sure what's going on there. Chat being very quiet this evening. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Unfortunately, I can't tell you when there's going to be an advert. I can't snooze them or anything like that. I am totally powerless. HZ Sports has just hijacked my computer for the evening, so we can stream the race. Well, we didn't want to not stream. That's definitely not an option. We wanted to make sure that you at least had some racing after a whole week without it. Building up, of course, to the Zandvoort Grand Prix this weekend, where I'm sure Max Verstappen has won. They might as well just call it that he's won now, if I'm honest. But I don't really like Zandvoort anyway. Bit of a go-kart track, in my opinion. It wouldn't be on the calendar if Max wasn't in the sport, in my opinion, to be honest. But my opinion is exactly that. My own opinion. I'm sure others will have their own opinion. I mean, Sector 1's pretty fun with the carousel. Very Nürburgring, isn't it? Turns 3 and 4 at Zandvoort. And then the final sector as well, the other carousel there as well. Which on the game, at least, driving it is quite fun. But I mean, the racing that we've had there of late, in actual Formula One, for me, not so great. They tell you what though, the Dutch know how to put on one hell of a party though, don't they? Jesus, yeah, fucking DJs and fireworks. The only problem for me with Zandvoort is that even before the races start, is just the orange haze. Now I'm a McLaren fan, even though I'm wearing a Aston Martin shirt. I'm a McLaren fan, so I just pretend that it's all for McLaren. They'll never know. Makes me happy. Right, safety car has got to be coming in this lap, right? We're on lap 3 here at the Spa Grand Prix. All the field now packed up and ready to go. Not really sure how it said that Jobo's lost a position, but he stayed where he is. Bit weird. Bit of a bug there, Codemasters. You want to have a fix of that, maybe? No? Yeah? All right, then. So then, safety car restart. Safety car is coming in this lap, so Kyle now effectively becomes the safety car. No overtaking until the safety car line, of course, so it's his job to back them all up, let the safety car get back to the pits. Weaving down through turn 15 and 16 to get some heat into those soft tyres. We go when Kyle says we go. Everybody looking fierce. We'll ride on board with Jake for the restart, I think. Or maybe Rags behind to catch this battle between the top two. And Kyle has gone. Ragbag's caught sleeping a little bit there. No overtaking, of course, to the safety car line. We'll go over onto Jake. There's the safety car line now, just crossed. So, down the straight. Safety car in. And we are racing again in Spa. And it looks like Kyle might have got the jump on Jake. Of course, having that soft tyre advantage. We've had a couple of laps of safety car, meaning that those soft tyres are going to go a little bit longer. Already nearly making up a second on Jake, and he's already out of DRS. Not that it will be activated until a lap or so later after the safety car comes in. Is Jake playing the long game? Let's see what's going on further down the grid. Rags is catching Jake. We'll stick with him to see if he can make the move stick. Has a little look. Not quite close enough down into Les Combes. Danny up into 4th, making up a couple of places on the start after a scorching qualifying lap at the end. It was a bit touch and go. Down into turn 8 then, catching Rags just a little bit. Nick Naif holding his starting position from 5th. Looking quite good. Okay then, Short Tiger up into 6th, making up 4 places. Good performance from him so far, despite being injured. We'll see how well he can do. Just a little bit of a tap on the brakes there through turn 10 and 11, but holding steady. A little bit of a gap behind him, back to Miles. Seems to be struggling a little bit here, Miles. A little bit out of position, having made up 5 places on the start, so difficult qualifying. Hamlin all over the back, a little bit wide there through turns 12 and 13. All over the back of the Mercedes there. We have got a yellow flag at the rear of the grid, it looks like. Is people getting a little bit touchy-feely down through the back here? Tash making up 3 places there, so something definitely happened. Let's ride on board with Miles then. Hamlin keeping to the back of that Mercedes. Will we have DRS? Not quite yet. Kyle then setting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:46. Missing these last 3 digits because I'm not quick enough on my own. What do we think then? Hamlin down the Kemmel straight. It's got to be, right? Having said that, he might have to defend from the Alpha Tauri behind him of Big Al. Having a point to prove as a reserve driver. That Aston Martin looking very racy now. He's going, he's going, he's going. That Mercedes dumping the battery. Quite a lot of charge. Not enough to make it stick. Oh, he's got up the inside. Hamlin up the inside there of Miles and making the move stick. Nice move. Is Al going to be able to pick him off as well into turn 9, into turn 8? He has on the inside. Miles taking a little bit wide, leaving a little bit of space. Lovely. Can he get the switch back? Not quite close enough. Losing a couple of positions there, Miles. That's what happens when you have to defend and attack at the same time. Never ideal. Coming through turns 10 and 11 now. And then the 2 Mercedes drivers out of position in 9th and 10th there. Miles got a little bit of a problem, potentially a setup issue. Everybody, of course, going on holiday and not really worrying about doing their setups, I assume. Reaper making his way back up through the grid. Will we get some team orders here for the Mercedes drivers? Let's see. So then, back to the front of the grid. How are we doing, Kyle? Holding that gap. Jake now is within DRS, switching on those tyres, but he has got ragbags all over the back of him. Do we have DRS enabled now across the line? Yes, we do. There, so they'll get DRS down the Kemmel straight if he can keep it within a second. Jake looks like he's just gonna pull out of it. No, not quite. Not quite. So then, I'm not sure where the detection point is for DRS down the Kemmel straight. I think it's just before Eau Rouge. It is, unless that's the speed trap. No, it's just before Eau Rouge. Yeah, the speed trap's just at the start of the Kemmel straight. So, can Rags do anything? Down the Kemmel straight then, passing all the adoring fans in the background. Not quite close enough. Into turns 5 and 6 then. People have been looking down into turn 8. Doesn't get DRS just outside of it. Jake now within half a second of Kyle. No DRS until we get back round to turn 19 down the main pit straight. So all Jake needs to do is keep it within that second gap. And he'll get the 12 to 14 additional mile per hour down the straight. But of course, the Kemmel straight is where it counts with the ultimate slipstream. And DRS just making for a double dose of awesomeness. So Jake's still sticking on the back. Ragbag's now coming up to this little gaggle as well. So it could be a shootout for the top 3 then. Coming through turn 15 up to 16 now. Finding that little bit of wall, not going wide. No lifting as well. No lifting allowed through turn 17. And then just past the 50-metre board for the corner. Rags breaking a little bit early there. Kyle defending the inside line. Jake having a little look around the outside, but sticking with him. A little bit of a DRS chain forming at the front then. Can Jake do anything not quite close enough? Rags under DRS down into La Source. Not quite close enough. And it looks like we might have Danny and Nick arriving on the scene as well. 3 seconds down from the leader. Let's have a little bit of look further down the field then. Short Tiger holding that position in 6th. Great start from him to up to 4th now. Hamlin slowly catching him though. These two have got a little bit of a rivalry going on. Was that nearly track limits there for Hamlin? Oh, I'm not sure. That was close if not. And we've got the AlphaTauri of Big Al finally getting past Hamlin. Beautiful overtake. Got the move done before the braking point. And we've got a Mercedes coming up on the inside as well. Bashing wheels, but he is through. Reaper determined to prove a point and get back up into the podium positions. Scott as well in this little gaggle. We're going to have a little bit of a DRS train forming here by the looks of things at the back. Tash, Jobo, and JM has lost a few positions. He's obviously had an issue. We must have missed that. We'll investigate that after the stream. So, let's have a back up the front here. Jake has had Rags and Kyle has dropped back down into 3rd. Are those soft tyres starting to go off after 7 laps? It could be that he's coming into the pits. Has he left it a little bit too late? What do we think? Hard or medium tyre? Medium would have the speed advantage to be able to catch up, but he is definitely dropping back. Not sure if Kyle has got any damage. Not that I can see from the offboard. We'll bring you back up to date with that. So, Ragbags and Jake then on the medium tyres. Ragbags still within the DRS train. Past the pit boards and down into La Source. Has Kyle pit? No, Kyle hasn't pit. Interesting. Maybe the tyres have just gone off that little bit. Those medium tyres seem to be turning on now. So, Eau Rouge. Raidillon. Can Rags do anything down the Kemmel straight? Flicks it to the left-hand side. Under DRS then. So powerful down the Kemmel straight. Breaks at the 50-metre board. Defends the inside line and takes the lead. Beautifully. Has Jake got an answer? Down into turn 8. Taking a little look on the inside. Not quite close enough. Rags covering the inside line. Lovely there. Looks like it's going to be keeping with him. And I have the feeling the next time that we're going to see some action is probably down the Kemmel straight into turn 5 and 6 again. But we don't know. We've seen some magic, and Jake might be cooking. So we'll see what happens. A little bit further down the grid then, Kyle making up that time that he's lost. With Danny Lowe arriving on the scene at a rate of knots there. Nick not too far behind. Looks a lot more racier than the Alpine in front of him. Taking a very tight corner. A little bit wide there. Down to out of turn 11 and into 12. Powering through 15, 16 and 17 now. Short Tiger still holding 2. He seems to be in a little bit of a race on his own with Black Reaper coming up behind him. A Div 1 driver, of course, so I can't imagine he's going to fight that too much. We'll stick with him to see if he can make anything into turn 18. Black Reaper just letting off a little bit. Makes sense. Can't imagine Sean is going to fight this too much out of the last corner now. Soft tyre drive is still not pitting, so 9 laps in. Oh, the traction that Sean got out of the last corner there. Reaper's nowhere near him. Beautiful. A little bit wide into the first corner there. I have the feeling something's going to happen down the Kemmel Straight. Are we going to have anything from Jake and Rags down the Kemmel Straight? Jake under DRS, gaining some more. Braking zone coming up. He's going to have a look down the inside. Not quite close enough, but made up a super amount of time. Anything from Black Reaper Short Tiger? He's got the move done down the inside. Sean not putting up too much of a fight there against the Mercedes in Division 1. Short Tiger's next rival coming up behind him. The return of Al, of course. These two coming together in Season 2 in Australia. Where Big Al went into the back of Short Tiger and it ruined both of their races. So there is history between these two. Big Al getting a little bit scribbling on the exit of turn 10 and into 11. Sean Tiger starting to do a little bit of... Oh, Big Al taking a much better line through turn 11 into 12 now. Sean a little bit wide through turn 12. Closing the door in turn 13. Oh, Big Al losing the rear end a little bit into turn 14. Sean getting a little bit of a reprieve there. Further up the grid then. Jake is still holding on to the rear of Ragbags coming into the last set of corners now. Jake thinking better of a move into the final chicane. It's too tight. We saw, of course, way back when, the brawn of Jenson Button, and I think it was the... it might be the Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel or Mark Webber or potentially even Daniel Kvyat back then. I can't remember. We've seen some mega incidents. Oh, Jake getting scribbly out of the sauce there. Giving Rags a couple of extra tenths to work with down the Kemmel Straight. We've got a couple of penalties then for Big Al and Scott. These two, again, old rivals. Short Tiger on the outside at Eau Rouge. Good move by Big Al, leaving plenty of room on the outside as well. And Short Tiger losing a couple of places there to Scott and Al. Again, didn't think he was going to fight it too much. Black Reaper then up into 4th. Only one position down from his starting place now. Doing very well. Further down the grid then, Miles is in the pit. Just on the pit exit now, so he's dropped to the rear of the field. JM again out of position, down in 13th. Jobo on the rear end of Danny, who has pitted and put some medium tyres on. The two McLarens running together. Hamlin in 8th. Up 3 places, gaining on Short Tiger. 3 seconds down. Scott and Al, a couple of penalties. I'm assuming they're 3-second penalties. I'm not sure what happened there, if they've had a coming together. We'll ride on board with Scott because he's looking very close to the back of this AlphaTauri now. Through turn 12 and 13, down into 14 then. All over the rear end. Up into 16 and 17 then. Big Al taking a much wider line. The Red Bull on the inside then into turn 16, leaving plenty of space on the inside. Brilliant racing by the Red Bull and AlphaTauri drivers. Maybe there was some team orders there. Who's to say? We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3, and we've got a safety car. What has happened? We've got JM off the track. I'm not sure where that is. Looks like the exit of turn 15. Looks like that wall might have caught him out. We'll have a quick look at the offboard. He is ghosted at the moment. Looks like a missing front wing from the Haas driver. Not sure what's happened there. Unfortunately, I don't have the full backing of Race Control to give you an instant replay. We'll just guess and say that he spun. Cash in the pits then, taking advantage of the safety car. This is good for those soft tyre runners that haven't pitted yet. Short Tiger, I think, potentially taking advantage there. We'll have a look at the tyre age graphic and see. Let's have a look. Tyre. So, we've got Black Reaper onto some hard tyres. Short Tiger onto medium tyres. Hamlin onto medium tyres. Tash onto medium tyres. Jogo onto medium tyres. Miles onto... already on medium tyres. JM onto the hard tyre, going till the end. We're exactly halfway through the race now with our second safety car being called. Big Al into the pits on some soft tyres. Brand new. Reaper hoping to play the long game. The hard tyre usually does run well here at Spa. Of course, being the C4 compound. Danny on one lap old mediums as well as Kyle. And then we've got the front runners who I don't think have actually made it round to the pit lane yet after the safety car was called. The back runner's running behind, so could take advantage of that. So it's going to give them opportunity to close up the grid. Not that the safety car wouldn't do that anyway. No lapped cars yet, of course. We'll just check that. Yeah, no lapped cars yet. With this being such a long track, lap drivers probably not going to be something that we see today. But with JM running down in 14th, every Div 2 driver will be walking home with some bonus points today. Of course, as always, we'll get your top 3 in for an interview afterwards. And then while we wait for the safety car to come to an end, will our front runners pit? Yes, they do. Nick in the pits. Jake in the pits as well. Obviously, all the way to the end of the garage for the Williams driver. He's going onto a set of hard tyres. Ragbag's taking the lead, of course. It looks like Jake holding second with Nathan onto some soft tyres in the third. Ballsy move if he can go 10 laps on the soft tyres. Let's see what he can do from there. Kyle, as well. 2-lap old mediums. Not having to pit, so back up then with the best of them. We've got Scott in just coming out of the pits as well. Excuse me, just a little sneeze there. So, who's fastest lap at the moment then? Fastest lap at the moment is a 1:46.4 from Kyle. We don't really have the gap at the moment to for anyone to be trying for fastest lap. We'll see how many stops people have made. So everyone's made the one stop. Not sure what's going on between Big Al and Reaper and over an undertaking under the safety car. Over, under, over. Penalties might be had there. We've got Miles with a penalty as well. I imagine that's for track limits. We'll get rid of the spectator menu. Apologies, Twitch chat. So then, we'll run on board with Jake at the front. We'll probably, most likely want to see the restart from his perspective. Can't imagine the safety car's going to stay out too long. Nip over to Rags. See when those safety car lights go off. Of course, when the safety car lights go out, that is the safety car coming in. For those of you who are new to the sport, the safety car orange flashy lights on the top there, they will get turned off as the car enters sector 3. And that is an indication to the front-running driver that the safety car is coming in. And then officially, the first running driver will become the safety car. No overtaking until the safety car line, of course. Frank's getting rather close there. Looks as though we are going to get another lap behind the safety car then. As I imagine the lights would have gone off by now. So then, we'll run through your grid. Ragbags, Jake and Nick rounding up your top 3 podium places. Kyle, Danny and Black Reaper 4th, 5th and 6th respectively. Reaper having made 2 stops, of course, after the incident on the first lap, resulting in the first safety car that we've had today. You're doing good on your own, mate. Well in. Thank you, Danny. Always good to hear. It was a bit touch and go. I'll just so you can see my nice shirt. Bit touch and go at the beginning there, but we wanted to make it happen. So, safety car is in. I must have missed it after Danny's compliment. Here we go then. We'll jump on board with Jake behind. Losing a little bit of time there on the restart. Nobody making a jump. And here we go then. DRS, of course, not enabled. So the double dose down the back straight at Camel, of course, not going to have the same effect that it normally does round here. So, Ragbag's getting out wide then into Eau Rouge up the hill, leaving it a little bit wide there. Jake gaining, picking up the slipstream, of course. As I said, no DRS down here. So Jake will want to get as close as he can, stay within that 1 second. And then within a couple of laps' time, he'll be able to pick up that DRS as well. Everybody on new tyres now as well. Ragbags and Jake looking like they've picked the hard tyre. We'll just double check that for you. Yep, the two front-running drivers on the hard tyre then. So we'll see where they can get, see what they can do from there. We've got 4 drivers with penalties now as well. Big Al, Original Scott, Jobo Zulu and Fuzzy Miles. All picking up penalties this race. I have to say, it's been a pretty clean race for most drivers. Haven't seen too many track limits infringements. So we'll see what happens. Running on board with Nick then into turns 12 and 13 at Le Fauger, if you're wondering what that turn is called. And then through 14 and 15. Further back then, Short Tiger losing a few places on the restart by the looks of things. Let's just have a quick look there at places lost, stops. So no Short Tiger holding from the restart then in 10th. Seeing what happens then. Scott all over the back of Big Al. Will stick with these two. There's always fun happening between these two. Karl Max setting the fastest lap. Nope, Reaper setting the fastest lap. Original Scott setting the fastest lap of the race of a 1:45.621. Of course, bonus points up for grabs for the fastest lap of Tier 1 and Tier 2. So then, here we go. Jake keeping it in like that 1 second. We'll ride on board with Jake down the Kemmel Straight then. Not close enough to make a move, I don't think. No DRS just yet. It'll be activated at the end of this lap. Nick coming through in the Alpha Tauri. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Jobo looks like he's had a spin out of Eau Rouge there. Losing a couple of places. Has he lost his front wing? No, doesn't look like too much damage. Might be some side pod or some rear wing damage. Not sure then what's going on with Jobo. We'll get back to the front of the grid then with these 3 drivers. Could be a close finish between these 3. Nick getting close. Looks like Nick is on the racier tyre with a soft tyre, of course. Wanting to get through these 2. Already having made the move stick on Jake. Strategy call was brilliant, in my opinion, to stick it on the soft tyre. Danny getting a 3-second time penalty then. Commentator's curse, of course. I say not many people has been getting penalties, and everyone has been cleanly racing, and now all the penalties are piling in. Of course, everybody a little bit rusty after the mid-season break. All right, then. Rags, Nick, and Jake through the final 2 corners then. All separated by less than a second. DRS now enabled. So we could have some fierce battling down the Kemmel Straight. We will ride on board with Jake. Everybody sticking it in quite close. It looks as though the top 8 drivers are going to be walking away with some DRS down the Kemmel Straight on this lap. Everybody within that detection zone of the car ahead. So, what can be done here then? Nick on the outside of Ragbags. He's got the move done before the end of the straight. Jake having a little look down the inside, but can't make anything stick. So, Nick is your new leader of the race. Nick. In the Alfa Romeo. You've got to be careful. Alfa Romeo, Alpha Tauri can catch you out. The Williams driver then still holding it in 3rd place on those hard tyres. A little bit further down the grid then. Big Al and Scott still quite close together. Can Scott do anything on this lap? Of course, Big Al on the soft tyres by the looks of things. Scott and Big Al picking up 2-time penalty each there. Fierce racing from the 2 of them. And there is history there, as we all know. So what? Oh, the Red Bull going a little bit wide there. The AlphaTauri picking up at least a 10th. Ragbag's 3-second time penalty at the front. That could cost him. That could cost him. All 3 drivers at the front. There's been a change. Ragbag's down into 3rd. Looks like Jake's had Rags. Did Rags go wide? Kyle now on the rear end of Rags as well. Those hard tyres looks like it might have been a bad choice today. Can Kyle have him down the main straight? It's got to be DRS. There it is. Rear wing right open. Nick setting the fastest lap of the race of a 1:45, a 5:39. Kyle has switched on those hard Ragbags. Looks like they switched on those hard tyres. Kyle running not too far behind him. We'll head back to Scott and Al. It looks like Scott has had him into turn 1. Big Al having no answer to the Red Bull driver. Brilliant racing and no crash. Believable from those two. Sean rounding out the top 10 then. Of course, your Div 1 podium as it stands. Nick, Jake and Rags. Your Div 2 podium, I believe. You might correct me on this chat. Don't worry if I get it wrong. I apologise if I do. But I believe that Div 2 is Hamlin, Short Tiger and Miles. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's right. So, some battles going on. Has Big Al held on to the back of Scott? No, he hasn't. Already nearly a second and a half down. 1.3 seconds and going down quick. Just increasing every turn. We've got Reaper on the back of Danny then. We'll stick with these two. The Black Reaper having a point to prove after losing places on the opening lap. Dumping the battery. Mercedes down to 1%, 2, 1, 2, 1% out of battery. The Mercedes is not going to be able to... Oh, can he make it stick even with no battery into the last corner? I'm speaking so much, I'm going light-headed. He's made it stick. A little bit of charge in the battery. He's going to have to do some lifting and coasting. Or at least some energy saving. We're on lap 17 and the battery's depleted. The Red Bull behind him not looking much better. Only 11% charge there. And it looks like the Alpine is going to have a go down the Kemmel Straight. After having taken Big Al behind him. Everybody's swapping places right now. So on board with Danny then. With Al behind. Looks like he's had the Red Bull down the Kemmel Straight. As I predicted, that DRS and slipstream just so powerful. Even the DRS on its own. Stupidly powerful. Stupidly powerful. But he's got the move done. Scott might come. He's coming back at him into turn 8. Danny leaving plenty of room. Another penalty for Tash then. Oh, the Alpine into turn 9. And Big Al has had him back. Brilliant racing all around. Everybody leaving plenty of room. 3-second time penalty for Hamlin. So, Short Tiger then. Opportunity for him. Currently one of 5 drivers without a penalty. I told you, commentator's curse. Happens to the best of us. Right then. Lap 17 of 22. If you've just joined us, welcome along to this Formula 1 League race. Brought to you by HZ Sports. My name's Chris. I'm one of the commentators that you'll see here every Wednesday and Sunday. We've had some brilliant racing today coming back from the mid-season break. Of course, last time out in France, Jake taking the win. Hoping he could replicate that today. Currently running 2 seconds down from Nick, though, who's moved to the soft tyre under the second safety car today. Appears to be a brilliant strategy call by the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's see if Jake can make anything stick. Ragbags, of course, in the Ferrari has been quick all day. All of these drivers at the top 4 having led the race at one point or another today. Now having settled down into somewhat of an order. Ragbag's looking pretty clear behind down the Kemmel Straight. Just caught a glimpse there of that gaggle of cars coming through Raidillon and onto the Kemmel Straight. I think the Ferrari driver just biding his time a little bit, waiting for the next lap to maybe make a pounce on the Williams driver. We know, of course, Jake's immense skill behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car. But, of course, standout performance today from Nick Nath. Comfortably 2.5 seconds in the lead on the soft tyres with 5 laps to go, including this one. Let's see what happens then. The leader just going through turns 12 and 13. Jobo at the rear of the field then. Danny, 12 seconds down. Looks like something happened to Danny. He's lost 7 places. He was running quite well. Must have been a spin. Can't see any damage to the Alpine on the soft tyres, so maybe he can do something from there. JM, it would appear, has had a pretty poor race today. It has to be said, struggling a little bit on the hard tyres then. Miles, Tash is made up 3 places, running well in 11th, made up 1 position on his starting place. Regardless of that, it says he's made up 3. Not sure what happened there. Miles then running well as well. Tash maybe picking up a little bit of time there. Within a second, he's certainly gaining a little bit. Short Tiger comfortably at 9th, making up a place on his qualifying position of 10th. Hamlin having had him. Hamlin having comfortably led Div 2 pretty much from the start of the race today. And then on into Div 1, of course, with Big Al rounding out the bottom, of course, with the exception of JM in Div 1. Original Scott as well. All of these drivers taking penalties, of course, with the exception of Short Tiger and JM. Kyle Penaltililus has just had Black Reaper down the Kemmel Straight. So powerful down there. The McLaren driver taking advantage of DRS and the slipstream by the looks of things on the medium tyre. Having the tyre advantage over the Mercedes on the hard tyre. Coming down then into turn 8. Can he do anything? No. Having a quick look at the Mercedes driver, but thinking better of it and sticking with the back of him. He's going to now go through sector 2 and 3. Can't imagine there's going to be too many overtaking spots there. The Mercedes driver still being ballsy and having a quick look, though. To a Formula 1 driver, any point on the track is an overtaking spot. But the McLaren driver putting that McLaren exactly where he needs to put it. Saving a little bit of charge then. Oh, he's had him. Reaper's had him. He's had him back. And Kyle picks up a 3-second time penalty. No! So he's not only now needs to take Reaper back, he also needs to make up 3 seconds on him because Reaper doesn't have a penalty. Rags, of course, taking a 3-second penalty. And Nathan still holding on. Nick Nathan still holding on to that 2-second, nearly 3-second lead that he's got out in front there. Brilliant controlled racing from the Alfa Romeo driver. Jake then, 3.2 seconds down. Looks like he's struggling, having to defend from Rags. Not wanting to let him through. Can he make a move down the Kemmel Straight on the Williams driver? We'll stick with them. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. We've got Jobo off the track. Is this going to be a virtual safety car? No movement yet. Have we lost a front wing? It looks like it. No movement. And Jobo has been disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous place. Not sure if there was an issue with steering wheel or controllers disconnecting, but that is a disqualification for the Alfa Romeo driver. Poor showing there today from Jobo, unfortunately. So, yellow, double waved yellows then in sector 2. With the Alfa Romeo just parking off by a marshal stand. Nicely done. So, back to green flag racing then, avoiding a safety car. Thank goodness. Hopefully, Jobo can jump into Twitch chat and let us know what happened. Riding on board then with Nick. So Jake looking like he's made up a second at the yellow flag interval there. Brilliant. Looking like the yellow flag has potentially caught Nick sleeping a little bit there, and he's making up a lot of time. Rags then into second. Must be talking about the wrong person. If Jake's down in third, apologies if I've missed that. Rags making it up into second. He's obviously had the Williams driver. Let's see what Jake can do from here then. Jake, I imagine, not too worried with Rags having that 3-second time penalty. So as long as he can stay within 3 seconds, it should be good. Jake, of course, one of only 4 drivers now not to take home a penalty of 3 seconds or more today. Let's see what everybody's picked up, shall we? Penalties then. We've got a 6-second time penalty for Scott, 3 seconds for the other penalty receivers today. Interesting. That might squidge up the results a little bit. Everybody on the different tyres. Then Danny having to pit after that late incident. And Rags, Jake has had Rags back. He's made the move done while I was checking on the penalties there. And Rags taking home another 3-second time penalty. So unless he can get past the Williams driver and make up 6 seconds, coming onto the last lap in a moment, I doubt that is gonna change the result. Jake absolutely cooking to try and take the win from Nathan on the last lap then. Let's have a look to see what's coming down in Div 2 before we start the final lap with the front runners then in Div 1. Hamlin having a comfortable 4-second lead over Short Tiger in second, with Miles bringing up the Div 2 podium. All on 10, 11 lap old mediums. Of course, Miles taking a penalty and Hamlin taking a 3-second time penalty as well. So if Short Tiger can make up a 1.5 seconds in this last lap, if Hamlin makes a little bit of a mistake, Short Tiger could take home Div 2 podium today. So then, final lap of the race. Now starting. Jake 1.2 seconds down on Nick. Let's see if anything can be done down the Kemmel Straight. All right then. Danny taking JM further down the field for 12th. Jake concentrating as hard as ever. Just as hard as the tyres that he has got bolted to his car. He is cooking with a full battery. He's going to make a move on Nick into turn 5, and he makes the move done. Goes a little bit wide. Misses the apex of turn 6 then. Nathan coming back through as you would. Respectable driving from the both of them. Brilliant attempt at Jake, but just a little bit too much. Anything from Div 2 then? We have got a yellow flag in Sector 1. It looks like JM has crashed out at Eau Rouge on the final lap of the race. Unfortunate. So then, Hamlin now, 4.2 seconds ahead of Short Tiger. He just needs to maintain that lead. That 4-second gap. He's down to 4 seconds. See what can be done there then. Jake's still itching to get past Ragbags, obviously with that 6-second time penalty. Still wanting to make a point on the track. Jake's still within that. Will they get a little bit of DRS? It could be a photo finish through 16 now. Nathan still comfortably closing the door through turn 17. A little bit wide. Is that going to be enough to give Jake a little bit of a catch-up and a run into turn 18? Having a little look. He might send it. Oh, he's been hit from behind. Rags is hit from behind. Oh, it's a spin. Oh, Nick down into third. Jake he's gone wide. It looks like he's going to let Nick through. Rags taking the win on the track. But Nick the winner of Division 1. Jake in third with Rags in third. Who's going to take home Div 2? Looks like Hamlin crosses the line. With Short Tiger now crossing the line into second. And Danny in the Alpine as well. What a finish! Oh, the incident there. I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like Rags hit Jake from behind, spinning him into the Alfa Romeo. I said it was going to be an interesting finish. My God. What a race. 2 safety cars. An incident at the end there. I have the feeling there's going to be some words had with the FIA and race control afterwards. So there we go then. Your winner for today in Div 1. Nick Nath raising the trophy at Spa. Despite incidents at the end, Nathan controlling it pretty much all the way through the race. I've got to say, definitely my driver of the day there, despite the late incident. Pitted at the right time, put the right tyre on. Brilliant clean racing, except that last corner, last lap incident. So there you go then. Nick and Jake and Ragbags Division 1 podium with Hamlin, Short Tiger and Danny, your Div 2 podium. Most Div 2 drivers walking away with bonus points today as well. So there you go, everyone. Oh, need a drink now, blimey. What a finish. Wowza Rooney. Wowza Rooney. Oh, and my apologies. I've just been informed by my glorious fiance that Danny is a Div 1 driver. So that means Hamlin, Short Tiger, and Miles bringing up Div 2 for the podium. Yeah, not a bad race return. Pretty good with me and Carl. Yeah, very, very good. Very good racing. If I could please request, can I have Nathan, Jake, Hamlin, and Sean to interview after the race today? I've got to say, brilliant, brilliant racing. She's lying. I'm. Yeah. Criff, I think I might be Div 2. We'll see. I'm not sure, Al. It doesn't matter because you didn't finish on the podium, so I can't have got your name wrong. Okay, who's just joined me? Hello. Is that you, Nick Nath? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh. Well, there you go then, chat. What did we think of that? Oh, right then. We'll start with Hamlin. Hello, mate. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, I'm knackered. I've gone light-headed. I was talking that much. Jesus.
I mean,
How
from
you
obviously, I'm not too bad. A little bit rusty from not having any racing since the last one. A few incidents. I've not recorded any of them, to be honest, throughout the race. One, again, it's just people making moves and the angles closing. A little clip from Reaper, I think it was, to begin with. Then OG made a good move down the inside, but he just, like I said, the angle just closed so quickly. Luckily enough, I avoided any front wing damage, which is the main thing. And then I think Miles caught me as well. Sort of sent my back end left and right. Managed to somehow keep the car on the track. And after that, Miles sort of drifted back. Now, I don't know if he got any damage because of it. I'm not too sure. But I know that listening to the commentary, obviously I try and focus on the race, but I'm listening to you. It was like more of a noise than it was actually hearing what you were saying. But there was a lot of high, intense sort of commentary going on. So I know there's been an awful lot of stuff happening. I don't know what happened to JM for the first safety car. It seemed a bit
I unfortunately missed it. It looked like he'd spun coming out. It was either turn 11 or Eau Rouge on the first lap. So it was an early call for the safety car. But yeah, it was definitely. I think it was out of turn 11. I'm sure everyone in chat is going to tell me how fucking wrong I am.
Well, the second safety car couldn't have come at a more perfect time. Literally turned the corner.
For a lot of you. It did for a lot of you. Who was it that pitted? It was I think it might have been Short Tiger onto the Nathan onto the Nick Nath as well onto the softs for Div 1. Perfect going onto the softs after starting on the mediums. Made him last 12 laps. Very, very good. But yeah, it looked like that second safety car came at the perfect time for everyone. And then I thought at the end with Jobo, where he was disqualified from the session, it would appear that his controller disconnected, or maybe he's got the wheel issue or something like that. I thought we were maybe going to have a virtual safety car there, which was going to give people the opportunity to again jump into the pits, maybe stick that last set of softs on. But brilliant racing all round from Div 2. Some great moves.
Yeah, it was fairly clean. I thought that Short Tiger had a great race. I think that for some reason, I think the only reason I probably finished ahead of him was during the safety car, the second one. As we were coming down the straight, everyone slowed right down. We all did. But then the safety car was telling Sean to let me pass. But if I didn't go past, he was going to get disqualified. So you're in a bit of a quandary as to what to do, because I shouldn't be taking him, but the game's telling us we have to. I mean, I did take the first couple of corners slower so that we'd be closer together. And then obviously whatever else happened after that, I'm not too sure. But there was a lot of cars coming up behind us that were in Div 1 that were then obviously trying to get themselves through. So, he was catching me. I didn't think I was going to get any penalty points. I got a weird one that I don't believe should have been a warning, which is what I got my 3 seconds. The other two, definitely went over. But the one where I actually got the 3 seconds, I'm 100% sure my front wheel was on the track. The rest of the car might not have been, might have been over the line, but my front wheel was 100% on track. So I don't understand that. But It just made me a little bit more cautious then. Once I got a little
might
bit
have a clip
of
to show Chris on the stream. Let me have a quick
cool.
look.
When I got a little bit of distance between me and Sean, obviously I was able to try and ease off. But what I tried to do straight after the safety car, after the first couple of corners, was just literally empty that ERS and just try and catch up to that pack. Because if I could get one DRS, that secures me sort of up the field. But at one point, I actually was keeping quite close tabs to the Div 1 drivers. And I saw OG
safety car restart.
Yeah, I saw OG had 6 seconds. I was like, if I could just creep in within 3 seconds of this. But I made a couple of mistakes. I just dropped down to about 4 seconds. And at that point, I just thought, you know what, just keep your position. Don't try and push too hard. You end up with more penalty points yourself. And then I end up behind Short Tiger on at the end of the race. But it was a good race. I actually think that was a fairly positive race, considering we had the mid-season break.
Agree.
And straight back in without any real practice. Well, I know me personally didn't have any, but I know there's a couple of incidents I think they're going to be reviewed. I think the last corner, there's something that happened there.
Yes, so just to explain to everyone that might have missed it, at the last corner, the top three, so you've Nick Nath was leading, Jake was in second, and Rags was in third. Now, Rags had already picked up
6 seconds.
a few second penalty. So, obviously just trying to fucking prove a point on track, of course, as you do, man. But I'm not sure what happened, whether Rags was picked up from behind or Rags outbraked himself and went into the back of Jake, which then caused him to go into the back of Nick, and it was just a sort of a chain reaction into the last corner. It looked as though Jake went wide out of turn 19 on purpose to let Nick through, but Rags technically crossed the line on the track first, but with the penalties was demoted down into third. So Nick's still taking the run. I'm not sure. I didn't quite catch it. I was on board with Rags at the time, so I only caught I was on board with Jake, sorry. So I only caught Jake being pushed by Rags from behind. I do have a clip to show on stream. Hopefully this works. Apologies, stream. You won't have had any sound today, because if I try and feed my sound through to the stream, I can't hear anyone or anything. So here we go. Hopefully this works and you can see this. So watch Reaper in front. Meow. And he's gone. If you've got any more clips that you want me to show on the stream, please send them in. And then Hamlin, speaking of awesome pit stop timings and strategy today, where's my brilliant ginger fiance? Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. I have to say, considering the injury, Sean, settling for second ain't bad, right?
I know. I got about halfway through and I was like, I don't know if I can finish, but I just sort of I was struggling a little bit, but I managed to hold on and keep going. But yeah, I think I don't know what it was under the safety car, but as Hamlin said, it for some reason it just popped up and said illegal overtake, let the car pass. And I was like, I don't really know what went on, so.
Weird.
Yeah, at one point I got the time between me and Hamlin to like 2.9 seconds. I was coming around the first corner and I had a little wobble and then it went back up to 4 seconds. I was like,
I saw you were catching, mate. Every lap you were closing that.
This is what I was following on with on board, because we were wondering if maybe Sean, maybe you'd kept something back. It looked as though, I don't know if it was the same for the Div 2 drivers, but it certainly looked as if the Div 1 drivers, with the exception of Jake, of course, were struggling with battery charge.
a little bit, yeah. I was sort of sitting around the 10% mark when I got onto the last lap, and I was like, that's not going to be enough to get a second and a half back on him.
We were hoping. We were hoping that maybe Hamlin would have a little bit of a wobble, or it was very close.
There's always a chance.
I
think in terms of battery was okay for me, I thought, throughout the race. I mean, obviously, I purposely used the majority of my battery to try and catch the pack after the safety car, because I wanted to gain that gap between me and Sean, and obviously try and get on the tails of for the DRS from that group. But I seemed to get at least 15% each lap when I was charging it. So I always had a little bit in the tank ready for that last couple of long straights, because that's what I think did me today. I think had my wings been a little bit lower, I think I probably would have been a little bit closer to those front runners. I think
because everyone had obviously been on holiday, whether people have had time to go through the setups and get back into it like they had been doing previously. It did look, I mean, Jake was only getting even in qualifying, 203, 204 mile an hour. So into the last corner, I must admit I didn't look down the Camel Straight. I'm sure it was higher, but obviously the speed trap is just after Radeon through Eau Rouge. So it'd be interesting to see what some of the speed trap figures are. So yeah, brilliant race for Div 2. Well done, Hamlin. A good win for you. I'm not too sure who I can give driver of the day to Div 2. I'm sorry, it was that close. I think if you two could share it. If there was a trophy, I'd cut it in half. Right then. Nick Naif.
Hello.
Today's Div 1 winner. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It got a
Appreciate
bit
it.
fucking hairy at the end there, didn't it? Do you want to just give us your perspective?
Tires fell off a cliff. And I knew Jake was closing, but I knew Ragbags had that 6 seconds. So I felt comfortable-ish. I thought Jake might get me coming into that final corner, which is why I put the car so far up on the inside into the final bus stop chicane.
Yeah.
And then Lord knows what happened behind me, but I ended up getting taken out. I'm pretty sure Jake's run wide coming out of the
it looks as though he'd ran wide, yeah. Whether he'd done that on purpose to let you through because of the incident, I'm not too sure. I don't know if he's about, and we can quickly ask him. I think Rags has joined us.
I thanked him either way because I thought, you know what,
Okay.
like if he has done that on purpose, it's it's good.
Well, we've got you here as well. Thank you for joining in. Well done. Some solid racing today by the top 3. What happened at the last corner?
Obviously, I saw them two, and I thought, I'm like behind them, and I know I got the 6 seconds, but like, I just wanted that fighting as like, as a driver, you always just want fight. So I thought,
Oh yeah.
I'll give it a try and just fight. And to be fair, I kind of want, Nick to win. Jake's been winning most of the races, so I thought my idea was get in front of Jake, and then hold Jake a bit back, but try fighting Nick. But obviously I did want a different winner. But so what happened is I was following him. I was using all my battery, and obviously Jake left the door open on the inside, so I went for it, and Jake like jutted his car a bit. So obviously, I've turned to the right and I've hit the grass, and it's just sent me car flying into Jake.
It sort of rang through. I'm not sure if you remember the incident between Bottas and Russell at Imola a couple of years back. It was it felt like a sort of prelude to that for me. How everybody got out of it, I don't know, but everybody was all right at the end by the looks of things. But no, good racing. Nick, well done on the win. You got driver of the day from me. Until that last corner, it was pretty much commanding, wasn't it? You had a good 2.5 second lead. Jake did come back at you at the end. I think he probably spent a couple of laps charging his battery up.
In fairness, that's probably my best track, and that's me probably out. That's the only win of the season, I reckon.
Well,
that answers my next question. That I was going to say, does that mean Nick Nate's back? Has he had some practice? Is he back firing again?
That's what I was going to say.
I don't know. I spent a lot of time perfecting the setup at Spa, and I just like driving it. It's just a nice track to drive, so.
Isn't it?
We'll see.
Right then.
Well, hopefully it is.
Thank you everybody for joining in. I'm not sure if we've got any more clips to show. I haven't had any sent to me, so I'm sure there'll be some reviewing to do.
Message.
Oh, hang on. Have you sent me a clip? Have you? Oh, you sent me on your phone?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay. So right. Okay. So let me just get this on the stream. Right. So what? Do you want to explain this, Sean? What happened?
It's not the best view in the world, but it was. You can see JM and OG sort of tangle. It's the best that I could get.
Okay.
At the time, because I didn't need to.
Oh yeah, just the end of it. They came together in turn 10 and 11 by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Danny held Nick up as much as I could. Yeah. Well, there you go. We'll review it again. Look, you can see it looks like they came together just down the outside, in the middle of turn 10 and 11, didn't they?
Mm.
Can we have a W in chat for Chris being the superhero saving this street tonight? I did nothing. All I did was put the HZ Sports logo on our screen. Please, I did nothing. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll have to end it here because me and Sean are going to be going live shortly on our channel. But thank you for making me so welcome as always. It's always a pleasure to hop in with the HZ Sports guys. If you've got nothing to do, why not come and join us over at the Nexus Collective? We'll be going live in about 5 minutes' time. We're going to be playing some Hearts of Iron 4 to celebrate. I know, pretty niche this, but bear with me. We're celebrating Romania's win over fascism and their release from fascism in World War II for one of our viewers. So that should be a bit niche, but there you go.
Guys, I'll jump in. I'll jump in there as well. I don't know if the stream can hear me. But
Okay,
listen,
cool.
guys, please do head over to the Nexus, guys. Even if it's for a couple of minutes. If you haven't already dropped a follow, please do. Chris has obviously helped us out a lot with obviously jumping in tonight. If we can help him a little bit in trying to boost those numbers, let's try and do it for him, please. Again, just show that love as you have done for us. Same over there. We are kind of bouncing off each other, so we're sharing each other's.
We identify you as our sister channel.
Of course, yeah. So yeah, our sister channel. Hop over to the Nexus,
Well,
guys, and really do. Let's show them some love.
Well, I'm glad that we got a stream tonight. It was a bit touch and go at the beginning, but HZ Sports, it's been a blast as always. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Sunday for the next race.
Yeah, boy.